Hey, what's up? It's Rashad Antonio. We are the Upon Further Review
Yep.
back because the finale of season two of The Last of Us, episode seven, Convergence, has arrived. All spoilers. Man, gotta talk about the thing and talk about the thing. And here's the thing. I try to even, I mean, like sometimes like we be knowing and y'all don't be listening. I tried to tell y'all since last season. Ellie was an ass. I try to be sympathetic to her. I tried y'all best to like, in the comments say, hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like you just not all this stuff. I say, yo, look, the very nature and heart of this character is me first, y'all second. And there is no getting around that. I think that the show is clearly trying to illustrate and telestrate that to us. And there is no other conclusion that I can surmise from out of this is this character who was befriended and fathered by Joel is essentially an asshole, and that's just who they
100%.
are. Like I'm
100%
like I'm
asshole.
sorry, like there's no other way that I can really
Yeah.
explain this,
Yeah.
and the way that the episode seven starts and essentially ends just proves to us that like yo like Ellie has a problem, and her problem is she keeps on fighting a fight within herself that she's losing, and a lesson that she keeps on that she doesn't want to learn.
Impulse control.
Yes, and that is the lesson of letting things go. Like that's been that's been her story arc this entire season. Are you willing to let go? And Ellie is keeping a vice grip on her grief and letting her grief navigate her life. And in doing so, she is killing people,
Mm-hmm.
and she also has killed the most stand-up character on the show to date.
Yo,
R.P. Jesse, man. Like
yeah. Ellie straight. Let's call it what it is, yo. Ellie straight up is the harbinger of death, yo.
she
For real. She is the harbinger of death. And and she's the harbinger of death, not only for the people she's after, but for the people she care about or
Yeah.
whatever. Like Ellie, to me, I just figured it out, Rashawn. Ellie is Tom Cruise in the Mission Impossible movie. Not Ethan Hunt, but Tom Cruise. We always joke. What's the joke we always say? Tom Cruise is
Trying to kill
trying to
himself.
kill himself in these movies. And he probably has it in these contracts. If I die during these movies, don't cut it out.
Show the
Keep
stuff.
it. Show the stunt. This chick, Ellie, it. And every time you think, all right, she finally gets it. This whole turn around and do something else. It's the ungreat. Rashad, what did I say? My biggest problem with her was that she's very selfish and she's very
Hmm.
ungrateful. And I've said that this entire season. The first season, I was like, all right, yeah, she kind of didn't know no better. She grew up in the QZ, whatever,
Yeah, we
blah,
gave her
blah,
some
blah.
grace.
Gave her some grace. That grace went out the window with me this season completely. Really, after the first episode, I was like, yo, she's an asshole. Like, she's really being an asshole right now. And and she's being a dick. And then on top of that, you're like, wow. And then it's like throughout the season, it's times where you're like, all right, maybe she finally gets it. Like with the whole finding out Dina's pregnant. You think you started seeing where she was like, yo, we can go back if you want to. If you want to go back, we
Right.
can. And Dana was like, look, I know this is important to you. We gonna go ahead and do it. Instead of Ellie being like, you know what? is this really worth it? This and that. Now, granted, she probably would have took Dina back and then tracked her ass right on back to Seattle to try to get them. And and she's so one-mindedness. Like the episode before the third episode before the ending when they got ran into the park and got caught up with the Seraphites. What they say, hey, separate. They can't get us together, and we'll meet up at the thing. We'll meet up at the movie house or whatever like that. She's running and she stops and said, I know that ain't what I think it is. That's the hospital. Uh, Let me go this way. Instead of going to check on the girl that she loves who has you know what I'm saying, an arrow in her leg, no telling that arrow's poison or you know what I'm saying, like
Very
that.
true.
You know,
Yeah.
that she's like, nope, I'm going here. And then she sees the chick and she like runs into the girl is running like help, help. That girl like help intruder. Ellie don't care. They firing at her and she don't care. And she beats this chick, which we thought was the death, but come to find out, she didn't beat her to death. She beat her within an inch of her life and said, yeah, I started seeing her changing and just left her. That is, yeah, Rashad, do you know how wild? She just kept saying the wheel. I don't, she's,
I don't know what you're
will.
talking about. Yeah.
No, yeah. She started changing. And then she was like, well, did you kill her? No, I left her to her fate. I said, that is some cold stuff right there. Bet. And then what happened? She gets back to the playhouse. Jesse's there and he has to do something excruciating shit with Dina. And Jesse figures out, I think Jesse had an idea and I don't think he was fully sure, but he even asked, here, drink this, it's gonna help. And she says, no, I can't, because Dina pregnant. And he kind of like, oh, this girl turn down liquor, free liquor. Something ain't right here. And what does Ellie do? Ellie comes in there, guns are blazing. Where is she? Blah, 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 this and that. And then he's like, yo, where were you at? Don't worry about where I was at. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? And then and like I said, Jesse, you know, trying to be a human being in this world, what does Jesse do? He's telling her, like, hey, I came back for you and blah, blah, blah. And Ellie is making a mockery of him being a human being. Oh, you think you're better than me? Blah, 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 blah. And she's barking at him, and he's just like, yo,
I cannot
what?
believe I'm going through this right now.
I can't believe I'm going through this. And then, and then, like, he tricks Ellie dumb ass into saying,
Tony. That's another thing. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that because
mm-hmm,
not only does Ellie never have a plan, Ellie is also hella gullible. Like
yes,
you can't have no plan and have no street smarts at the same time. Like
no,
that does not work
excuse me.
at all. I'm looking at her like she really just fell for it. She's like,
She
"Oh,
do
snap, you didn't know?" So stupid. So stupid.
She said,
Like,
oh, you guessed it? Yes, stupid.
like,
Yes,
I'm
stupid.
like Ellie, man. Like, what are you thinking about? Okay. All right. And they had this conversation. They go back and forth, and essentially, Jess is like, "Look, y'all, I ain't got a whole lot of love for Dina like that. Like, I love her, but I don't love her like you do." And there was this old girl that came through with the traveling circus, and she couldn't draw, but man, I was smashing them cheeks, yo, and I fell in
Yeah.
love.
He fell in
And
love with that.
thing I like about Jesse, he was like, "Look, I didn't leave because." Jackson, the people in Jackson Hole, they took me in
hmm
when I was young
They raised me.
and they raised me. So I feel a sense of, responsibility
Right.
to the community. And they're looking at me to be the future he said it, the future
The future
Maria. Like he
Marie. Yep.
already
Yeah.
understands that. Like, look,
hmm
my role in the town is much bigger than just,
Right.
me doing what I feel like doing.
Because old girl said she couldn't stay because of her family, so she had to go. And he's like, he couldn't leave because the
Because
community
my
is
family need me.
my family need me, the community. And Ellie makes a mockery of this, like, oh, or whatever. Like, and the crazy thing is, he's like, listen, I got one thing to do right now. We're gonna find Tommy. He says, you need to stay alive. I need to stay alive for my kid. And when he says that, you saw this look go on her face like, my kid. Kind of like, I'm the
I'm
daddy.
I'm the father.
I'm the I'm the pappy of this kid. Sorry, Ellie, you're not. Let's
And,
let
and, we,
let's
and what we said what you said a couple episodes ago. Like this is gonna come to a head. Like when
Yeah,
when Jesse
yeah, it
finds
is.
out.
I said with Jesse five and the fact that it was already so Dina to me is already flighty to an extent because it's effed up that she didn't tell this man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm pregnant with your, you know what I'm saying? I'm pregnant with your kid. Because
Yeah.
what she thought was gonna happen when that belly started growing and they found out she pregnant, he not gonna put two and two together. And what was gonna happen? It was gonna make him look like an asshole in the town where you know what I'm saying? Like what do you think was gonna happen? But
Yeah.
Ellie is just like, just so impulsively like she's trying to justify her not being a good person for all intents and purposes, man. She's trying to justify it. So then what do we hear? They get to the hideout where Tommy is supposed to be, and he's like, no, that's my stuff. I don't know where Tommy is or whatnot. And what did they and even before they get there, they come to a moral standing ground where they're there and they're here firing and shooting, and they run inside the little warehouse thing and they hiding, and you see one of the Seraphites has been caught by the wolf folk, and Ellie wants to go in and save this dude with like six of them, and he's like, "Yo, no, the hell are you doing, or whatever?" And she's like, "You let him go. He's innocent." Yo, and then what did he say? This is not our war.
Yes.
This is not our war. We're not here. Like for real. Like I know why you here, but I'm here to get your ass out of here and get Dina, my baby, out of here with Tommy. And so then what did they hear, Rashad? They hear sniper fire. And he's like, man, that might be Tommy. I think it's Tommy. And so they go to the top level to see the area that where it's at. And then what does Ellie do? Ellie is like that dog from the movie Up. Squirrel! She looks, she said,
Well,
Will,
aquarium. I get it
aquarium.
now.
I get it now. And she starts to walk. And he's like, yo, where you going? That's where Abby is. And he's like, I thought you let that go. Like, and she was like, no, I'm going to get her.
So look, I thought we were trying to get Tommy. She
Yeah,
said,
F Tommy. Basically, she said, fuck Tommy.
she said, Tom, he said, he's strong.
Right, he's strong. Tommy would want this. This
Tommy
is what
would want
Tommy would want.
this.
Tommy would want this. Or whatever. She basically said, F Tommy, yo. And I'm like, yo, this chick is bonkers. Like she is so selfishly one track minded about this whole Abby thing. And you're just like, what the hell is going? And then you see the wheel, like you have to it like it's been flooded or whatever, because it's like a hurricane is coming through or something, and you
Look,
have to
look,
take
yo,
a
because
boat to get to where
he got to take a boat to get to the aquarium.
to get to the
Okay,
aquarium.
like like the way that the world is now, the aquarium is like it's been like quartered off from the actual like mainland, right?
Yeah.
So listen, that is happening, right? We see on the other side of this, there is a storm,
Mm-hmm.
and there's two storms, and they're converging. Hence the name of the
That
episode.
is. Do you know
So
how crazy that is, Rashad?
that's what. So okay. So again, they have no idea what's going on
Right.
because even Thomas said like, yo, we can kind of chill out here, let the rain subside, and then we can make
Yeah.
it home. The
Yeah.
rain is not going to subside for a while.
Yeah.
You guys are in some sort of like Pacific
That's like a
low
typhoon.
Pressure system going. I don't know what they call
I
it on
think
the
on that.
West
I think on the
Coast.
Pacific. I think it's not a hurricane. It's more of a typhoon. Ain't it like a
Yeah, I guess,
typhoon
but like
or
that's more like
Asia?
Japan,
Yeah. Okay.
Asia. Like I'm not
Yeah.
sure like how. like those like maybe like an Alberta Clipper. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
It's
not a
not
meteorologist.
not a it's similar to a nor'easter
Yeah, but it's
where
on the
it's
West Coast. That's what I'm
but it's on
saying.
the
Yeah,
west
yeah,
coast,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
So
Yeah.
so these two storms are converging, and
Right.
like even the lady
I
from the Isaac and the lady from the episode when like
yeah.
she got her over to to Wolfgang was like, hey,
Uh-huh.
two storms converging,
Mm-hmm.
and it's crazy out here. He's like, oh man, and also Abby's missing. He was like, out of all the days to show up missing, this is the day because we found out later that they're trying to just murk the entire Seraphites.
Yeah.
Just
They're wiping them
they
out.
say, you know
That's like
what,
yeah.
we're done with you guys.
You know what they was
One,
doing with the Seraphites, Rashad? Take it back. They shock and awed them. They hit them with the shock and awe.
yeah, this is would
Yeah.
be around that time too. So,
Mm, yeah.
so they said, look, man, I would tie the Seraphites. Okay, aside from okay,
Also,
uh,
too, before we get to that, I you see where it seems as if we might see this next season, most
yeah,
likely.
hmm
Isaac has a relationship with Abby similar to might have a relationship with Abby similar to what Joel has with Ellie. Because
definitely.
he is like this and that, and he's like hyping her up. He's glazing Abby hard. And the chick is like, yo, you worried about this he was like, yo, she's the future. Like, he says, most likely, you're gonna die tonight.
He said, I
Most
might die
likely,
tonight.
I might die tonight.
Who's gonna lead these
Who gonna
bastards?
lead these? Who gonna lead these ignorant bastards here?
Tony,
Abby. So we need to find.
he
I need to
said,
find her. Yeah.
look, yo, they got this tough name being wolves, but man, they all sheep.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. Now that's a leader, because the
Mm-hmm.
leader knows exactly who his people is and who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be an interesting storyline to watch how, because even the series ends on day one Abby at the Seattle
Yeah.
Seahawks Stadium.
She's there. Uh-huh.
And they got, their
They have a
operation
fully
is
functional operation.
huge. They making
Yeah.
food and
Mm-hmm.
all types of stuff going on. But now, like Wolfgang is legit.
Yeah.
So this episode also has like another theme which ties into Abby's, I'm sorry, to Ellie's storyline. And that theme
Mm-hmm.
is, what does morality mean in the apocalypse? Because that is Abby's issue. She feels like she wants to be a good person deep down
Abby or
inside.
Ellie?
I said, did I mistake myself and then
You
mistake
said
myself again? I'm sorry. I'm gonna start over.
okay.
The issue, the theme of this. Tired. I'm sorry. The
It's all good,
theme
man.
of this is Ellie
Okay.
and the how do we measure morality in the
Mm-hmm.
apocalypse? How do we measure morality in the apocalypse? Because
Mm-hmm.
Ellie, the entire episode is questioning right or wrong. Am I
Mm-hmm.
doing this correctly? Should I be doing this? Starting off with Nora, because even like you alluded to earlier, she was like, I didn't think it would be that easy to get that info out of her. Yeah, like I just was beating her. I was beating her until she said something. And then I left her there. You know what I'm saying? Again, what is your morality? Second, leaving them, even how this thing all jumped off, like leaving them in the park. That's a
Mm-hmm.
morality issue. That's a right and
Mm-hmm.
wrong issue. The
Mm-hmm.
um the fact that she ends up
Abandoning Jesse because
abandoning
to
Jesse.
try to go get Tommy because she's so
hmm
one track minded and daggone trying to get to that wheel in the aquarium.
Yeah, a whole issue about morality. So let's talk about how her little venture off into Seraphite land by mistake. So again, she sees where the boats are, and Isaac jumps up. Everybody going at this point. We don't know that they're going to
Mm-hmm.
Seraphite Island to
Mm-hmm.
just obliterate the Seraphites. So everybody's packing up stuff and then leaving, and she sees like this little pontoon boat. You know, don't even know how much gas is in this thing, and she is on like the
Can I repeat?
Puget. She's in the Puget Sound,
Mm-hmm.
right?
But here's the thing I want to reiterate. It is a double hurricane basically going on at the same time on a little pontoon boat with a little with a
Oh,
little
so
and
hard.
and like going and like probably looked to be about what 3 miles away, three about maybe three
Let's
2 mile.
let's just say, I mean, just for story's sake, let's just say it was a mile. Like I don't want,
Yeah,
like, yeah, let's just say it was a mile away
but
on
even
water.
still, the rough seas, and then what ends up happening, Rashad?
She ends up encountering like a 40-foot wave, capsizes.
Caps, and I was sitting there like, and you know, Rashad, this was the N word in me. Good.
I
This
said,
is what,
yo, you got what you deserve, right?
yeah. You
So
play stupid,
again,
stupid,
should have
stupid
died,
games, you get stupid prizes. There we go.
should have died, should at
Hmm.
that point say, you know what? Let me carry my ass back to the theater. One. Gets on the island, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Shakes herself off, looks around, sees a little kid, you know what I'm saying? Little 6-year-old white boy. He's like looking crazy in the face. And
Hmm.
all of a sudden, you know what they start doing? Start whistling.
Now, boy, I'm like, what is that?
He said, hey, hey, hey. Man,
Yeah.
caught Ellie. They was about to string her up. He was like, "No, I'm not part of the Wolf
Tell
Gang."
the, she looked at that little kid. Tell him I'm not with the wolves. That little
He
kid said,
said,
gut her ass. That little kid just did the little thing like the gut her. She was like, oh, because she knew what time it was. And they
Again,
was, yeah.
morality. That's their
Uh-huh.
morality. Their
Mm-hmm.
morality is that anybody who seems like a threat, kill them.
Kill him.
So they strung her up, and actually we're in the process of hanging and gutting her. But then
Mm-hmm.
you heard heard some explosions in the background, and then you
Mm-hmm.
heard the whistles, and it was like,
Mm-hmm.
home base, we got to get back. And it
He
was like,
said, leave
man,
her.
leave her, yo. Like,
Yeah.
have bigger problems.
Mm-hmm.
So, second example of she could have went back to the theater. She finds she and very video game esque. She finds
Mm-hmm.
the boat
Mm-hmm.
on the side of the island. She says,
Mm-hmm.
going back that way, and heads over to the daggone aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
Gets to the aquarium,
Mm-hmm.
goes through there, and figures out very video game like. This whole thing feels very video game like.
Mm-hmm.
Gets to a point where she sees the
Oliver.
the Oliver and like the nurse chick
Yeah. I think her
who's
name probably Miranda or
yeah,
something. I
I
think
don't,
something like that. Yeah.
doesn't
Uh-huh.
matter. So sees them talking, they're having this discussion. He also she sees like blood and gauze. It's just a lot
Mm-hmm.
of untold stuff going on. It's clearly setting up next season
Mm-hmm.
because she's like, yo, we need to go, and they're trying to figure out life or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
Ellie pops up, hey, Bullock on.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to tell me where Abby is. And they're like,
The best part is Oliver. He turns
yes.
around. She says, put drop everything. He turns around and look, and he's like, all right, all right. He's like, oh shit, like
Like, yo,
it's you,
I
like
can't like
it's
who are you, yo? Like, how did you
yeah.
even get here?
And then what does he say to her? Hey, remember, I let you go. I told them
We kept you alive.
I kept you alive. Ellie won't trying to hear none of that. She said, you got 5 seconds to tell me where Abby is. You are going to point it out on the map, and then you are going to go point. And if it's in different spots, she said, it's going to be a problem. And then she was like, and then he was like, hey man, she gonna kill us anyway, this and that. And she was like,
No, no,
no, I'm
no,
not. I'm
no.
not y'all. Guess what?
Morality.
Guess what,
Again,
Ellie? Guess what, Ellie?
you worse than them.
You worse than them.
Again,
It,
again, like she's having like this whole morality questioning in the middle of this
yeah.
whole like, I'm sticking somebody up at gunpoint. You cannot play, you can't be the moral police right now.
No,
It doesn't
right.
work.
And so my man tries his best, Oliver, to, you know, stop the situation, take Ellie out. Ellie fire off 2 shots.
Bro.
Pow! My man was like, oh. And he falls and dead. And old girl is just sitting there looking at first. And she sees the one bullet, like a bullet hole in the wall, thinking everything cool. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh. and she drops down to, and then you see that coat open up, and you see that she's pregnant,
Mm.
and I said, no. And Ellie's sitting there like, no, 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 no. Once again, the harbinger of death, Ellie, strikes again.
Yo,
The
she got a
harbor.
2-for-1.
No, Rashad, a three from one.
And no, not talking about with the girl.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, but
She took out three with one bullet, basically, or
tell me,
whatever.
okay. I just want to go back to that because
Uh-huh.
I said if this bastard try to grab a gun, he gonna die so fast. And
Mm-hmm.
because now I saw him go for the gun, I said, oh no. And Ellie was like, if Ellie ain't nothing, she can shoot.
Yeah.
She shot yo, and that was the one of the cleanest shots ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like that thing pierced right through him
And hit her.
and hit her like grazed her like basically like her jugular, and she
Mm-hmm.
was bleeding out.
Mm-hmm.
And the saddest part was she was trying to tell her how to
Deliver the baby.
deliver the baby via C-section.
Mm-hmm.
And she was coaching her through it. And in her mind, she did it. And Ellie was like, could not control herself because
Mm-hmm.
her worst nightmare became true. Like, not only did I kill somebody, but I killed a child in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that another thing too, like Ellie couldn't even comfort her in her
Mm-hmm.
last moment, say, yeah, like I did it or nothing. She just was like, again, selfish as you've been saying the entire season. She
Mm-hmm.
could not even muster up enough wherewithal to say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, you're all good or nothing. Just let her bleed out, let her die, let her lose consciousness, and boom.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse and Tommy come through. And the
You can
funny
see
thing
the
is,
look on
I love
Tommy's
how
face.
I love how they keep finding her because this is just how messy she's been.
Mm-hmm.
So they find her, they go back to the theater, and then the events of the end happen where
Mm-hmm.
Tommy and I'm sorry, Tommy's is kind of saying, hey, about to
Let's
gather my
start getting.
stuff up, I'm about to get
Mm-hmm.
out of here. As soon as morning comes, rain lets up, Jackson Hole, here we come. And he sees the awkwardness between those two. So he said, all right, I'm gonna pack my stuff up. They have like this little small come to Jesus meeting. So they
Mm-hmm.
get to at least to have some sort of
Yeah.
understanding. And
Because
then
she was like, thanks for coming. And he was like, how do you know I wasn't forced to do this? And she was like, well, were you? And he was like,
no.
no. He was like, I did it because it was the right thing to do. And I know that if if it was the other way around, you would have, you know what I'm saying, come hell or high water, try to come after me. And she kind of like, okay. Then what do they do, Rashad? They hear like a
Hold
little,
on. Before that, like I just want you to
mm-hmm,
also, because again, the morality thing comes in again. She says, I know because you're a good person.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So that's
yeah,
how this whole thing ends with Ellie understanding that
she ain't
I'm
shit.
trash. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, mm-hmm,
I've went about this the entire wrong way. Jesse asked her, like, look, yo, I mean, Tommy's like, look, are you gonna be okay with not getting your look back? And she reluctantly
mm-hmm,
says yes. And then we
mm-hmm,
hear gunshots. They run. Yo, Jesse run head first and got shot in the head first. Like, oh
yeah,
snap. And then who we
yeah.
see? We see Abby. Abby looking
Abby.
like, um,
He's like,
hold on,
hey,
yo.
come on out, drop your gun,
Yeah, yeah,
or
drop.
else he gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah,
killed.
yeah. He gonna get it
Then she
too.
comes out and looked and is like yo ass again,
Like, yo, like
like
I'll let you live, and this what you come do. Like
yeah. And
I'll
then he
let
was
you
like,
live,
yo,
and this what you come.
he killed my because she Abby thought it was Tommy. He killed my friends, and she said, no, that wasn't no Tommy. That was me, baby. I'm the one that killed them. But look,
I did it.
I did it. Let him go. It's me you want type thing or whatever. She was trying to give up the ghost to say, I guess that's her penance for killing old girl with the baby and stuff like that.
Basically,
And 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 Abby was just like, man, F that. Fired off a shot
cut to
fade to
black.
black. Well, cut black. Nice sharp cut black. And you just sitting there like, all right, what happened? What happened? What happened?
Like, all
What
right,
happened?
like I know they ain't kill Ellie because she's like the star of the
Yeah.
show.
And so what did we see? You see Abby asleep. Oh, some dude like knocking on the door. Hey man, you know you can't hold the person up. Let's go.
You got
And
me,
that's
and
when you
I was a
see,
call for you.
yeah, and that's when you see like they're in Seattle Seahawks Stadium where they have a whole production operation going on, and it comes up on the screen, fade up Seattle day one. So next season we're going to basically, I think this is what I must think we're going to see for next season. We're going to see the 3 day period that
Yeah, for
led up to
Abby.
where
Yeah,
for Abby on Abby's point of view, and then we're going to probably see some flashbacks of what happened with Abby. You know what I'm saying? How she became a wolf, you know what I'm saying, the relationship with Isaac and stuff like that. Another
yeah.
thing that happened too on this episode that we ain't talk about was Ellie finally told Dina what happened with Joel.
Hey,
And you know what? Now her ass is feeling like how Joel felt. Because after she told Dina what happened, Dina looked at her like, wait a minute, what? This is all kind of like your fault type thing or whatever. And you kept this from me. And you see Ellie's like, no, blah blah blah. And you see that Dina she becomes a little cold towards her
a little withdrawn because
after that.
Dina's
A
like, oh
little
yeah,
withdrawn.
definitely going home now. Definitely going
Right.
home.
You
Like
know,
there was no reticence in her voice. It was like, yeah, we got to go back to Jackson because she
yeah.
realized that she was there off false pretense. Like we talked about
Mm-hmm.
before, the sins of omission. Like that
Mm-hmm. There.
their whole mission was essentially predicated on a lie or at least a half truth again, because she
A
admitted
half
the
truth,
fact
yeah.
that the reason why Abby came through was to get her look back because she killed, I mean, because Joe killed her dad, an unarmed
Mm-hmm.
doctor, and
Mm-hmm.
she was supposed to be the cure. And like I've seen, like the story, the showrunner was like what they want us to believe is that look, there would have been a cure. Like that, like
Mm-hmm.
there was no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Like if she would have done it, they would have figured out a way to actually make a cure for the cordyceps. So that's on her. That's on Joel. And I want to really say also that Joel and Ellie are two sides of the same coin. That's why they were meant to join and kind of like have this paternal child relationship that they had because them the only two people that really understood each other. So Ellie being like overly upset with him throughout the whole thing is like it's real crazy work when you think about it like in retrospect.
Yeah.
And also, this is the overarching theme of kind of the series is like we gotta let revenge go. Like revenge never ends well. Like that's the clear theme. And this whole thing is because y'all did this. I'm gonna get y'all back. No, I'm gonna get y'all back. No, I'm gonna get y'all back. Even when it
Yeah.
comes with the wolves and the seraphites, it's all about revenge. Oh, y'all did this to me. Oh, we're gonna do this to y'all. Group, we're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
this to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Even when with okay, because look at Abby, right? You said we might go back to that 5 year period when they didn't
Mm-hmm.
show. You got to remember, she left the Fireflies, went to because they say you might got people up in Seattle, so they went to Seattle and saw that there were no more Fireflies. Became a
Mm-hmm.
wolf. Her and her
Mm-hmm.
little crew left on their own accord, got their lift back, went home. You feel what I'm saying? And like,
Mm-hmm.
and even in like the last episode, like their crew was getting picked off one by one. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, yo, like and even Isaac says, like everybody in Abby's crew is either missing or dead. what I'm saying, is missing. Like isn't that odd to
It's
you?
only it's only one person that's that the one that was like really trying to kill her too, like the Latino dude or whatever. I
Yeah,
can't think of
yeah.
that
I
dude.
don't think
Like, you know,
he showed up right.
he showed up when he was like
Yeah,
on the tower.
yeah, like that
You know,
first
when in
episode.
the
Yeah,
beginning, set but
but
you
the
ain't really
rest of
seen
them
nothing
you
from
ain't.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like they essentially it's only him left supposedly. So
Mm-hmm.
all this revenge, and then we got Jesse dead. Tommy
Mm-hmm.
at least is injured, could be mortally injured.
Mm-hmm.
Dina is
Dina's
essentially
injured
injured
because of the
and
situation.
bleeding out. She could be bleeding out. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know how much blood she has left in her. And
Mm-hmm.
also, you putting Jackson at harm too, because let's just say if they really if they really
They
want to get
figure
their
out.
lick back, they could easily go to Jackson Hole and just destroy that whole
Mm-hmm.
thing and go back to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a 13-day
Like
trip.
nothing.
They got
Mm-hmm.
enough resources to do it, you know.
Yeah, and we seen they have the resources.
And
Yeah,
they could
for
just be
sure.
like one little small battalion, and that's
Mm-hmm.
it. Cause look, all
Mm-hmm.
their shooters are gone. All their
Yeah.
shoot like all Jackson Hole real shooters ain't there. You know what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying?
They either got turned or killed during that battle with the infected. You know,
Man,
but
shoot.
I just thought about something. If what you were saying, the half truth or whatever. Ellie basically was like Jen Rummy from Boondocks. Which said the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Remember that the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. You're like, what?
I had that quote on my desk. And the funny thing is that because that's an actual like scientific quote. You know what I'm saying? I was watching
Mm-hmm.
some show about space and like the scientists said that. So shout out to what's my man who made Boondocks?
Magruder.
Magruder. Shout out to Magruder.
Yeah.
Smarter than y'all think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's true because just because it's because you don't know it's there doesn't mean it's not
Don't mean
there.
it's not there.
And that
Yeah.
is like I'm glad I'm glad that's crazy that you brought that up because that is Ellie in a nutshell. And
Mm-hmm.
Ellie is, I think she got more faith than the Seraphites because she just believes that everything she does is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a sort of blind faith that only a true believer would have. And like she is has so much belief in herself.
That
Crazy.
girl really do have the faith of a mustard seed.
Come on. Like,
Yeah.
okay, why would you think in your right mind that you and Dina can go get y'all look back? Just y'all two.
Yeah.
Because think about it.
Right.
It was five. Look, this just even on the basis of ain't no wolf gang.
Mm-hmm.
It was five of them,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just two
Mm-hmm.
of y'all. And you
Mm-hmm.
saw how crazy Dina and the other dude was, and you really
Mm-hmm.
thought that you can
Yeah.
go and just blam 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 and go back home.
Yeah. I,
Crazy.
and any normal person, even people who are on rage and revenge filled missions, would have gotten to Seattle, see how well prepared they are, the type of you know what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say, Rashad, the type how it's set up,
Yeah.
the type of you know what I'm saying, equipment and stuff they have, would have been like, this isn't a good
Hmm.
idea. Let's go back and replan. Let's replan this and evaluate, and maybe we can try to get these people back home to kind of change their mind.
Hey,
But no.
because like if I was on the council in Jackson, she wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
welcome back. Like you don't have a chance to come back
That's
into the like you
that's
like
true too.
I would, Ellie would be out on her own. I would not welcome her back into
Yeah,
the city. She would be casted
because you can't be
off the
trusted.
island. No, I can't trust you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
because
and
remember, Jess even told her, she was like, "Oh man, blah 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 blah. If you would have got some more people to vote," he said, "Yo, I voted
I
no."
voted against you too. Like, I said, because you crazy.
He was like, "It
This is
wasn't for the
crazy.
community." And then what did she say? Well, my community got beat to death in front of me. I get it, sweetheart. I do. but the greater good, yo, the greater
Again,
good.
is all about what Ellie wants when Ellie wants it. And
Hmm.
yeah, man, that's just the selfish nature of man, and just the brutality of revenge. Those two things mixed together, it's a powder keg of just ignorance and non-thinking and just stupidity, man. Like I wholeheartedly appreciate how Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann have made the character that we actually loved and rooted for, we now hate.
Hmm.
And that is some good writing. And it's not like because this character is insufferable, it's because this character we know should be doing better. We know can do better. But they are choosing to be led by their emotions and their just their just
Impulsiveness.
yeah, the impulsivity as well. Thank you. Because like, there's no way that like I said before, we also pissed off because Joel has taught
Hmm.
her how to go about things, but at every
Hmm.
point she always pushes back and and makes fun of and curses and acts stupid as her
Hmm.
defense mechanism to get what she
You know what
wants.
she is? She's like a she is a teenager, but she's on the adult teenage side of it.
Mhm.
She's like a young teen who like, yeah, if I cuss and get loud, I'm a and say some vulgar things, I'ma sound like a real badass. When in actuality, you sound like a jackass. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're a
It,
teacher, Rashad, and I was a teacher once, and we see it all the time with kids that are like 15, 16 years old. You know what I'm saying, mother effer? You're some shit. Oh, you being such a ussy. And blah, 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 blah. And you just sit back and be like, oh, look at you. You lost child. You have no concept or no idea of the real world. And that is Ellie.
yes, because the way that she keeps going about things led her to this
Mm-hmm.
point. And I think it's great that the show didn't have her as like as I said, like before, like the impossible white man that she just shooting and killing everybody, and then boom, she's a hero. Like, nah, like yo, you suck. I'm going to show you why you suck, and also I'm going to show you through Abby and why Abby has. Because a lot of people online was like, yo, like Abby, my favorite character in the series, well, in the games, and people are like, wow, okay. I'm like, I'm not seeing that because they haven't shown us that. But now, next season clearly is going to be
Mm-hmm.
why Isaac was so hype about Abby and Abby being the heir apparent to the Wolf Gang. So
And you know
um
what? And we might know we're gonna probably see Abby taking heed to a lot of things that Isaac says and stuff like that, unlike Ellie with the Joe situation.
also why they went missing the last 3 days. What shifted that they
Mm-hmm.
felt like her little clique felt the need to kind of like, we got to do our own thing. Was it because they wasn't feeling the whole go fight the Seraphites thing, or was it because
Mm-hmm.
old girl was, let's just say 7, 8 months pregnant, and they wanted just to make their own little new community somewhere? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's a plethora of reasons, but like I'm really curious about
Yeah.
that because it seemed like she was always on job and was always consistent and very reliable. So for her to be unreliable at that time, there has to be some sort of rift or shift and what her thought process was. Nah, man, like this show, for all the people who play the video games, it was like, yo, so much more happened, blah yada yada. I'm like, nah, I'm very much satiated by the storyline and by
Mm-hmm.
what they presented. It's been very compelling television, very
Yeah.
well made, well written. Like
Irritating at time with
that's the
characters
but
and
that's
stuff.
but
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
the point.
point.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
not like,
Mm-hmm.
just some actor just doing stupid stuff. Like, nah, like there's like this is the arc that the character is taking. And I really I just a good series, man.
Yeah, it is, man. That's really all I got, Rashad. What about you, man?
Likewise, I don't have anything else to say about the Last of Us season two.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we get season three earlier sooner than later
Mm-hmm.
because that 3 years is crazy.
That's
Um,
wild. Yeah, that's
yeah,
wild.
yeah, we need to at least get this popping off like the end of next year,
Yeah.
mid next year, because I don't see a reason why
Well,
like
who
all
knows,
the
man? Because you see HBO is pushing stuff back, and you see other properties are being pushed back. Because let's see, me and Rashad was hyped for Night of Seven Kingdom.
that
Up
got
at
pushed
the
back
end,
to 26.
they got pushed
Yeah,
back to the beginning of 26, and now we've seen that Avengers Doomsday has been
yeah.
pushed back a little bit too,
Doomsday and
which
Secret
make
Wars both got
yeah,
pushed
and
back.
Secret Wars, which makes me think that Marvel is going to put something in between. In the meantime, in between time, I'm gonna
I'm curious to see if that happens.
yeah.
Oh no, I mean,
I'm guessing. I'm guessing Spider Man.
the Spider-Man was already coming out,
Yeah.
regardless. That was coming out July of next year, regardless.
Okay. Well,
So now
uh,
that story is definitely not going to be connected
maybe
to that.
maybe Blade finally restarts.
All right, y'all. Hope you
you
all had a good
you're
time
like
with
I don't even
us.
want to hear that. Let's go.
We're having yeah, don't do that. The
uh,
next time you see us is gonna be, man, I don't know. I think I kind of want to do a post-mortem on Andor
okay.
and talk about how Andor elevates Rogue One. Did you get a
That's
chance to
good.
see Rogue One again?
Oh yeah, I did. I saw it last weekend. I was like, watching. I was like, this is so
Nigga,
good.
like
Everything comes
Rogue
together.
One is a better movie, yo. So
It,
yeah, I feel like Wednesday we should kind of like have our like recap of the season, talk about like why and about how Andor made that better.
let's do that Thursday because
There's either way,
Late,
man.
after work late on
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
Thursday, it don't
Uh,
matter.
uh,
Either way, yeah. So we'll do that later on this week. Make sure you stay with the channel. All the things: Facebook, TikTok, Threads, IG, theuponfurtherreview.com. Lots of stuff coming this summer. $10 a month gets you in video essays, different pods. If you like anime, we're doing double A anime on the pod. I'm watching three animes as we speak right now. So
Jeez.
definitely, like we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about. The end of matter of fact, September, Demon Slayer is in theaters. So if you watch Demon Slayer, definitely come check. I know for sure check me out because I'll be
Yeah,
talking
check
about
out.
it.
Yeah, Rashad is
Yeah,
gonna talk
yeah.
about Demon
Tony is
Slayer.
not on that, but
Don't do
yeah,
me like that,
it's okay. I
yo.
just been telling you for the last 3 years to watch the show. I'm not judging. So, for all that said, man, we appreciate y'all. We will see you guys next time.